friends, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Don't forget, if you are new to my channel, to head down there somewhere and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like my videos and share them with your quilty friends. So today we're going to, as the title says, work on 25 patch blocks. We're going to do 2 of them in this video, and the 2 that we're going to be doing are these 2 right here. We've already done those, and a ton others. So if you are interested in the 25 patch blocks, there is a playlist somewhere in my videos that you can go to that has all the 25 patch blocks. So today we're just going to make this. Oop, I showed you real quickly. And then we're going to make this. Oop, I showed you real quickly because I want you to watch all the way to the end of the video. So without further ado, here's 2 25 patch blocks to go with the series. Bye, everybody. Let's start with this one. This one's quite simple, 25 patch block. We're going to use 2 colors, 13 of one color and 12 of the other. So let's pick those out. Here are my bins. What 2 colors do I want to use? Well, I definitely know I need something that I have 20. I need 25 different things. I need 12 of one and 13 of the other. So how about we just do something super easy just because, and go with, how about a pink and a blue? Honestly, I think that will work perfect. So here's one that has a lot. So we'll just pop this guy out. And here's a pink one. We'll pop that out. So we'll use these 2 colors. So I'm just going to count off. Let's move these out of the way. 12 of one and 13 of the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oops, 10, 11, 12 of that, and we'll do 13 of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide these back in here because they are not needed now. And for those that are new to my 25 patch blocks, these are so very easy to put together. So we're going to go ahead and go one of these, one of those, this, that, and this. Then it's opposite in the next section, like that. Just like that. And then the next one, this, oops. And then 2 of these. And I want my stripes to always go in the correct direction. And then we're going to put the striped fabric right here. And then again, the striped fabric will go there. So all I'm doing is filling in the blanks, just like that. And that is the layout for the 25 patch block. So let's get to sewing it. So what we're going to do here is web piece this. It's quite simple. What we do is once we sew 2 together on the machine, we're going to leave it there and add the next 2. So what I will do is go put my right onto my left like this. And when I take it to the machine, I will sew down this side and then leave them on the connected, keep them all connected, and then we're going to start adding the next. So we'll open this up and add this one to it. Open this up, add this one to it. So let's go over to the machine so you can see what I'm doing. So here's my first 2 with a 1/4 inch seam. Okay. Sew it through. I'm just going to reach over, grab my next. I'm not going to turn or move or adjust anything. I'm just going to sew it through. Reach over, grab my next, line them up properly because I was just kind of willy-nilly throwing them onto each other. Sew it through. Grab the next, make sure everything is aligned nicely. Sew them through. Keeping a nice chain. Next, and this is the last ones, we're going to sew it through. Break thread, and I'm going to bring this up this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press to the left with my finger They don't have to do anything fancy right now. Press to the right. Press to the left, which is the darker color. Press to the right and press to the left, just like that. Keep them together so you don't lose anything. We're going to come to this top piece. We're going to reach over to our pile and grab that next top piece all the way to the top left corner, because that's our next piece. We're just going to put it on there, grab the next one, just flipping it to where it's right sides together. I'm not turning the piece or anything because I want all of my pink are going up and down. Just like this. I'm going to slide the next. Again, grabbing the next. Just putting them right on top of each other. Just like this. And the last one goes on top just like this. And sew it on through. Again, we're just going to press right, left, right, left, and right. So all of my pieces are always going towards the blue. All right, so next we're leaving it all together. We can't lose our order here. There's no losing this order. I'm going to grab my furthest to the left piece up at the top corner. I'm going to grab that, stick it on. You can see these go together pretty quick. Grab the next one. Sew it on. Grab the next one. Right sides together. Sew it on. And the next one. You kind of get the point here. And the last one from that row. Remember, I'm not turning anything. I want my striped fabric to go up and down throughout the whole thing. Bring it to the top. Again, I'm going to press to the left this time. And then to the right. And to the left. Right. And again to the left. And now we're on that last row and we still have not lost our order here. So everything is all together and nothing can get out of place. So last row, we're just going to grab our piece and put them on. So we got 5 pieces to do. And these are 2.5-inch squares if you didn't get that in the beginning. I'm not even sure if I actually said it, but now you know. And then grab the next, place it right sides together, and the last one right sides together just like this. Try to leave a little bit in your chains when you chain them together. Try to leave, you know, 1/2 inch or more between. And if you don't know how to do that, you just sew a little bit extra, add the next, sew a little bit extra, add the next. All right, so I'm just going to press from the bottom up this time, just like this. And now we'll go to the next step. So I backed you up just a little bit so that you can see. So the next step, after they're all hooked together, you cannot get them out of order doing it this way. The next step is to put them together. Now you can take this over to the ironing board at this point, but there is actually no point in doing that right now. We're just going to, after they're finger pressed and they're pressed nicely with your finger, you can see which way your seam is going to go. So we're going to put these right sides together. So I'm just going to take the bottom closest to me row and lay it onto the row in front of it. We're going to nest these seams. So since I finger pressed, you could see the bottom seam is going this way and the top seam is coming towards me. We're just going to nest those. The two should line right up. We're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam down this side. We're just going to nest all these seams. They should all, if your squares are 2.5 inches and they're cut exact, they should all line right up. Oops, we want that to go towards the dark. We're just going to line it right up. 1/4 inch seam all the way down, and we have now 2 hooked together. So now it doesn't matter which way you press. So I'm just going to finger press them that way towards the machine, just like that. Okay, Now we're going to take this piece that's doubled and stick it over the next. So everything's still hooked together. We haven't lost anything. Just line them up, stick it under the machine, sew down this side, nesting the seams as you come to them. They have been finger pressed, so they should lay on top of each other quite nicely towards the darker color. I just have to adjust just a little bit as I go, but everything is together. No need for pins. Again, I'm just going to finger press this back towards the big chunk, just like that. And now I'm going to turn the whole thing. You can see everything's still together, can't lose it. We're going to pick these two up and start with the top closest to one, you know, because it's there already, it's connected. We're just going to line those up, and now I'm going to sew that on. Be nice if the fabric stayed where I wanted it. Right there. I'm going to line it up on the machine. We're going to nest that first seam. They are cut exact, so everything is meeting up just nicely, just the way we want it. Take this last one. Oh, that seam wanted to turn. Again, I'm going to take this and I'm going to press that seam towards you guys, so it's going this way with the rest of the seams. And then the last piece just goes on just like this. Super duper simple. Lining it up, just holding my nested seams as I get to them. Just kind of keeping that seam down since nothing was pressed. Oops, flip back that way. Lining it up. Run it on through. And this last seam, just going to go ahead and press towards that. So now let's press the whole block with the iron. So now we know all of the seams are going finger pressed one direction. Everything's sitting flat. And when we finger pressed, it was all laying flat. So from the top, just going to put it on my board, and I'm just going to push it out like this. Don't mind the squeaking of my ironing board. And I'm just going to take my iron and run it along it like this till it's nice and flat. Now if you want to go and check underneath and make sure all of your seams are laying flat, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but you can fix it if you want to. It's so hard to get these to stay super flat, at least the edge ones. Flip it back over one more time. Just give it a nice press. My iron constantly gives out steam, so it gets super duper flat. And there's my nice flat block. Let's take it over and measure it and make sure that it's 10.5 inches. And there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. Look at that. Perfect block. There we have it. Very simple. I almost look like it did exactly what my picture shows, except I had more of the pink ones than I did of the blue ones. But it looks similar. On to the next. Now, let's do this one. We need 3 colors. So let's count how many we need of each color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, it looks like we need 25 red to start with. Let's get 25 red. This is going to be fun, trying to choose 25 of something. We're going to have to substitute red for a different color because there is nothing here. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I just need something with 25 doubt there's 25 of those. No. I think there's 25 of these. Let's see. Pull them out. Let's see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, get off. Get there. Right there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, oops, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, look at that. We have 25 of these. Here we go. How many do we need of the next color? Let's look. Let's choose a blue. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the blue. So let's find a color. Let's put these away just right here in the front and choose something that goes with it. So get 13 of, how about, there's not 13 of those. No. Let's choose this right here. Let's see if I can get this out. Oops. We need 13 and we're going to do this. So that they're similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So we got 13 of those. I'm going to go ahead and slide these back in here. And let's count what we need of the gray. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the gray. For gray, let's do something that goes with pink and blue. I doubt there's 12 of these. I mean, it doesn't really look like it. Ta-da-ta-da. No. Huh. Let's see if there's 12 of these. Slide that back in there with those. Sometimes they just like to pop out because they're in there so tight. How about a purple and pink? Yeah, that looks good. So let's do 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So there we have it. Let's slide these back in here. Let's move this out of the way and get to laying it out. So the first step is to take all 25 of these, and we are going to make half square triangles with all this and all this. So let's get to making some half square triangles. So I now have some seam tape on here so that I know the red line is where my needle ends up, and on both sides is my 1/4 inch marking. For what I'm going to do, the only thing we care about right now is that red line. This way I don't have to draw on the back of all of these. So let's move this out of the way. And we're going to make half square triangles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these and one of these. We're going to put them right sides together, and I'm going to sew from the center to the center on every single one of these. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to line my tip up right here with this red line. I'm just going to follow it all the way from corner to corner. And we're going to repeat this step with every single one of these squares. So just line it up, sew on down. Put the next one on, line it up, turn it, put the corner in. And be careful if you have a machine that has a wide open space. I am a single stitch machine, so I only have a little hole. But if you have a wide hole, it will suck your corner down into that hole. So make sure that your needle is down before you put the next piece in. That way it takes it nicely, or use a leader if you're not chain piecing, but chain piecing is like using a leader. We're just going to slide these through corner to corner through all of them. Just like so. Okay, so now that I've cut away a 1/4 inch away from one side of all of these, now we're going to go and press them. Okay, so now that they are pressed and trimmed, and if you didn't notice in the fast forward part, I did take my trim offs and stuck them in my folder with my envelope that I keep all of my trim offs in for a secondary project after making all, I think 80 of these blocks is my total when I make them all. So here is our layout. We're going to make sure, because we're using, this is the gray and red combination according to the chart, and this is the gray and or the red and blues according to my chart. So let's lay these out. We're going to start with this one right here, and then we're going to go to this one right here, because this is replacing gray and this is replacing blue. So the next one is this one, and then this one, and then this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chart down and continue laying them out. So we'll just keep the chart right there so you can see, or like right here. All right, so my next row has that up, that up, oops, up, and that way. And then the next has, oops, let's go. That is facing up there, there. This will be facing up that way, and that way. And I'm pretty sure you guys all do the same as me and talk to yourselves. I tend to do that quite often. On this row, we have gray facing down, blue facing this way, that way, and that way. Then we have the gray facing that way, blue facing that way, gray facing up, blue facing up, and gray facing up. So there is how it's going to be laid out. I know it looks kind of weird and wonky, but that's the style that I'm drawing out on all my little blocks. So let's sew this together. Again, we're going to do that same web piecing. So I'm going to take this section right here. I'm going to put this right sides together like this, like this, like that, and like this. Just like that. And I'm going to sew down this side of everything, leaving it all together. And then when I open it up and they're sewn together, I will go ahead and add this to it. When it's opened, I'll add that, and so on and so forth, keeping it all together. Now, if you come to a section that's like this, and both of the seams are going the same way, just go ahead right before the machine, before it gets to the needle, and press the one or the other in the opposite direction, and then just nest them together, because when we iron, there's going to be folds or puckers. But if you want to avoid any of that, you could always have pressed all of your seams open. I don't tend to do that, and this is going to be a very large, heavy quilt when it is done. So 100% I do not press open, especially heavy quilts, because the weight of the yardage that's putting all these together, the weight of all those blocks is going to rip at all these seams. And you can already see, if you were to stitch in that seam, you would ruin it. And it would just take away and away and away. Over time, it's just going to fall apart. So we're going to make sure that this was back the way I want it. I'm just going to flip seams as needed throughout this, and let's get sewing. Okay, so again, I'm just going to flip this seam, and I want to sew a 1/4 inch seam. I am definitely going to put my guide back here because it stops me from going past, and I still, even with a little piece of tape here, I still stitch beyond. It's not my fault, it just happens. So again, I'm just going to flip seams as needed, just right there at the edge. So I'm going to add this one on. I'm going to feel that they're nesting, and they are. Grab the next. I probably could have pressed all of these towards the, I think I'm out of bobbin. Yep. All right, so give me a second to change this out, and I think what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to go and press all of these towards the background color, or my red. So I'm just going to continue on all of my seams. Should be going in opposite directions, except for this one right here, because I thought I pressed them all. And this one. Leaving them all together, I'm just going to go ahead and press right, left, right, left, and right. And then we're going to add the next row. So I'm just going to grab that, stick it on here. Now all of my seams, since I press them, should all be opposite now. Except for that one seam, because I forgot one piece. But that's okay. I will make it work. Just grab each of them, lay them on here, nest wherever the seam comes together. Here's another one. Oh, that's that same one. Now I'm just going to finger press it into where I want it. And I'll adjust it when I finish the whole entire block. Put this on here like this. And we're going to go again right. So this whole row is going to go to the right, and this whole row to the left every time, and so on and so forth. Just use my fingers. All right, and we're going to grab the next row, grab the next. As you can see, I'm also leaving a little gap between every piece. That way they're not completely and utterly that close together. And it makes it a little easier to lay each piece on. And another one. This is the last, and then we'll finger press it again. And then we'll have one more row. So right, left, right, left, and right. So let's grab the last row, attach it, holding my seams, nicely nested. There. Come on. 2 more pieces. And the last one. Make sure you don't turn or flip anything that you're grabbing from your side pile. Just go from the bottom up. I know that every single row is going a certain way. And again, we have a nice chain pieced piece. So you can see I'm not going to lose anything. Now let's sew it together. So let's start with this first row. Again, we're just going to nest these seams. And I'm going to start right here. So I'm going to nest these 2 up here. And then I'm going to sew. So again, I'm just going to nest, sew a 1/4 inch seam, line up my next, and line up my next. I'm going to go ahead and just use my fingers to push that back. It kind of seems thick. Let's see if it goes as thick the other way. And it doesn't matter, I guess. You can press it open if you want. Sometimes when a bunch of half square triangles come together, this is why people press open, but it doesn't bother me to have these big chunks because the iron will flatten those out. I mean, you can just flatten them out with your finger. All right, so we're going to grab that next, put it together, and sew it on down. Oops, I'm going to nest that seam. Making sure that all of these seams are nesting up nicely. Coming to each one. And this last seam is 2 going the same direction, so we're just going to flip that right here at the edge. I'll be able to use the iron to put that down, which is going to beep for the next couple seconds. I'm going to grab this next one. We're going to line these up. Come over here. And then just nest them on the way down. Come here. They just lock together. And then this last piece, they're going in opposite directions. Just like that. Alright. I'm just going to smush it down with my finger for now. Hook that last piece on. And this block is kind of like a broken dishes block is what it's pretty much looking like. Just a mess. It's a little mixture of having fun, just placing things where I want them. When I drew all these up, I was just having fun with color pencils and 25 patch blocks. So here's the block. Let's go press it and see if it comes out to 10.5 inches. Okay, so we're just going to press this. Just going to be very careful of my seams. They will lay pretty flat once they're ironed down. I'm going to turn it around so I can see the seams that I had to manually fold. I'm just going to crease those down with the iron. Should be no big deal. I'm going to run over the top of it one more time. Super nice and flat. It looks really cool. And here we have it. Let's take it over and measure it. Okay, so here's the finished block. It is not quite 10.5 inches, and that's because a lot of these junctures came together and they're kind of bulky, so they took a lot of the seam away, but not too much. I mean, it's literally almost there, and that's fine with me because this is going to be set with a ton of other blocks. So here is the layout again. And throughout this video, if you want to take a screenshot, you can. So there's the layout. Looks just like my little picture. And that is it. So here was today's blocks. All made from 2.5-inch squares, 25 patch blocks. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.